There's an opportunity to go a little bit deeper than the physical level when we experience physical things. And it's sort of like peeling an onion. Like, we just continue to go deeper into these layers of consciousness that are manifesting physically through the body. So what I'm going to explore with Jakub now is a very simple process.
I'm just sitting in clarity. I think that today's practice was the exact thing I needed. It shifted my consciousness.
The way it works is that if we consider that our bodies have gone through time, at least in this physical life, depending on your perspective, but we were born and then we continue to age up until the point of where we're at. There's parts of us that remember every single occurrence that ever occurred. You could call it your subconscious mind, you could call it your spirit, you could call it your higher self. It doesn't matter what you call it, and you don't need to subscribe to a belief around it, but just consider that there are aspects of ourselves that do remember these things. And yet there's other aspects of ourselves that block us from the memory of these things, whether we don't want to remember because it was a traumatic, really intense event, or whether there's a distortion of the memory of that event. So, sometimes we remember something and we think something happened, but that's just a projection of the rational mind over the top of the experience, which doesn't really allow us to tap into that thought, emotion, belief that was created at a core level that may have led to the physical thing continuing to happen. So it sort of, in a way, creates like a program that keeps running underneath the surface. And I just find if we don't address these programs, if we don't at least look at them and have an opportunity to reframe our perception of these events, then they can keep playing out, almost as like a replay to teach us the lesson. There's often universal lessons that our body, that our experience through life is there to guide us through and to teach us. And so this is a really profound but simple process that you can continue to explore by yourself. And I'll take Jakub through it, and we'll see what happens. So first of all, it's important just to go into this with just an open mind, and without trying to fix anything. Once again, we're just going in really with an observational perspective, just to to open the hood of the car and take a deeper look and see what we get. If we can let go of that attachment, then we create an open space for infinite possibilities. So let's get into it, shall we, Jakub? We're going to go through a couple of different steps. So the first thing is we're just going to come into the present moment, and a simple way is through just connecting with your breathing and linking that with an intention. So just as you breathe, just start to bring your awareness to the inhale, the retention, and the exhale of the breath. And just start to ask, what do I need to breathe in? And we're going to take that in, pause for a moment, or it can be shorter or longer. Let that permeate through the cells to where it's needed in the body, and then exhale and breathe out whatever we don't need. So we'll just do this for a moment. Just really the purpose of this is just to come into the present moment, to center within the body, and to start to really guide our focus. Now, what's useful in this moment is that we open up to question. So we ask, what do I need to link with my breathing? What do I need to breathe in right now? So for example, with the experience of the hip or anywhere in the body, what do I need to breathe into that area, into my whole body in general? So we address the needs of the system. Okay? So when you have that, just continue to breathe that in. And you can just take as long as you need to do this, but the most important thing is about the practice of receiving it. Rather than just thinking you're taking it in, really, really allow yourself at a cellular level to take it in, to receive this loving intention, really. So you just let me know when you're feeling you're starting to center into the moment, Jakub.
Okay.
Okay. So first section was about connecting with the breath. Next, we'll start to connect the breath with the body. So as you're breathing, we've got a general awareness of the body. Start to watch for any of the areas that come into your awareness. So without trying to willfully think intellectually, just watch for any areas that are starting to go, hey, look at me. Yeah. So as that happens, you can just vocalize them. What areas are coming to your awareness?
Left lumbar region above the hip.
Yes, yes. And you can just reel them out if there's multiple.
Left shoulder.
Left shoulder, yeah.
Yeah.
They're the main areas.
And it's getting more into the left hip.
Yes.
Like more and more specific. Like the area just goes
Yes.
smaller.
Yes.
And hits me. I don't know whether it's a L.
And just
L1 maybe.
Just go into experiencing. It's probably not. We don't have to name it too much, but just as long as you know the areas.
Just to describe the area more or
Yes.
less. It's just getting. At first, it was more about the whole hip.
Yes.
And now it's getting more. It's closer to the spine, more specific.
Okay, excellent. So just of those areas that have surfaced into your awareness, all we'd like to do now is choose the highest need for now. Okay. So choose, you can vocalize it or you can just know it within yourself. So we just choose what is the highest need, knowing that we can come back to the other areas in time as well. So as long as you're clear on what my highest need is now, you clear?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right. So now all we're going to do is just direct the breathing into this area for a moment. So once again, linking it with our intent, and the intent might have changed from when we started with the more broad focus of the body. So breathe in whatever you need. Pause with the breath for a moment. Let that assimilate in the area or areas. And then exhale and breathe out the excess that you don't need. Share that out. So just really connect with that area, and all we're looking to do is just breathe a sense of safety into this area. There's an openness for us to work with it. Yeah, sometimes when we have areas, we can be quite resistant to even look at them. So the intent here is to really start to allow an openness to look deeper at this area. So once you've got a sense of willingness to go into this area a little bit deeper, then just let me know.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do is, if we consider, sometimes the challenge with going deeper into the body is we can try and look at it through the rational mind, and that can distort our perception of what we're actually doing. So what we're going to do is bypass that rational mind for a moment and go in through the heart. And let's just consider this as like, it's an opportunity to go into, say, like a portal of time and allow us to go into a space of pure experiencing. Okay. So, and you can place the hand or 2 fingers on the heart center. We're just going to connect with this for a moment. So just connecting with the heart center of our physical body. And all you need to do is just put your focus there, and the specific location is, it's in the middle of the chest, basically, right in the middle of the nipples, effectively. So you just bring your awareness there. Now, with the awareness that you've built up so far, that you've noticed around the area that you're focusing on, what we're going to do is directly focus our question into the heart center and ask, what is the seed of this sensation, of this physical experience? When and where did it come from? And just let your mind be at ease and allow whatever needs to surface. You might get an image, a thought, like all of your senses can start to give you information. So just with that innocent question, what's the seed of this physical sensation? Where and when did it come from? Just notice what comes up. What age are you? Where are you physically? What do you see? What's around you? And just keep your eyes closed and just share whatever is coming without too much processing of needing to know what it is.
Actually, I can give a detailed description.
Yeah, go into as much detail as you like.
I don't remember exact age I was. I think it was like maybe 8.
Yes.
And I remember slipping on tiles.
Yes.
Like at my school.
Yes.
On the entrance, there is there are tiles. There are slippery tiles.
Yes.
And it's like maybe 4 or 5 steps higher than the ground.
Yes.
And I remember running out of school, so exiting the building, slipping on the tiles.
Yes.
And going into an epic fall.
Yes.
Hitting the ground below, like it might have been like around a meter or 1 meter height, I think.
Yes.
But I hit the ground, like my whole body to the ground, and I hit with my just the English name for the last part of the spine.
The sacrum?
Yeah,
the
sacrum.
Coccyx? The coccyx?
Yeah, coccyx, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so my whole body weight at that time went into this one spot.
Yes.
Like my legs went up.
Yes.
Head went up, and I just went straight down, hitting the concrete.
Yes.
Concrete-ish.
Yes.
Surface.
Okay.
And that's the surfacing. Nothing else. Like
yes.
This one situation.
Yes. So
from like 18 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you keep your eyes closed, what I'd like you to do is let's start to go beyond memory of the event and to allow your consciousness to go back into this moment, to experience this moment directly. Just allow yourself to be in that moment and watch what's happening in this moment, and know that other moments might occur, might flash into your consciousness as well. So just watch what's happening in all of these moments. Going beyond your need to remember, allow yourself to directly experience this moment or moments in time. And as you're watching, just observe, how do I feel? What thought processes are happening? What beliefs are forming in this moment or these moments? And just keep watching, and whatever comes to the surface, just vocalize.
That's interesting, actually. What has formed afterwards, after the hit, the injury, was that there was a thought that it has to be severe in consequences, let's say. Meaning it was a form of like attention seeking.
Yes.
Like a gateway for bringing more attention to the person that was back then, through just injuring, like look at me because I'm here.
Yes.
Hurt. Yeah, it's precisely what has happened.
Okay, so just be with that moment and just ask deep within, are these thoughts or beliefs or feelings serving me anymore?
Okay.
Okay, so do you see any thoughts, feelings, beliefs that are no longer serving you?
No, like that's the exact pattern that
Yes.
I don't feel like seeking attention.
Yes. Yes. So now if we look at it, still stay in that event, do you see the potential or how this has created patterns of behavior that have played out in your life to date?
Yeah, I can see a whole sequence of patterns.
Yes.
A whole chain of them.
Yes. Yes. So what we're going to do now is blow this event off your time track. Let's just consider this as like a seed in time that has planted a trajectory of events. Okay, so just when you're ready, just in your own safe space, just take a big inhale and then blow it off your time track and just visualize it leaving your time track. So now we've started to, so just do this as many times as you need to start to create space. Big inhale, big powerful exhale, blow the event off your time track. Good, 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 good. So you can now experience there's space in time, so we can start to create a new potential. So still back in this moment, if you could change anything about this event to support you at the highest level, what would you change?
The thought afterwards, instead of making it making a fuss around it, making it loud and trying to bring attention through it, I would just like slip it off. It's okay, it happened.
Yes.
But my body is robust enough to just slip it off.
Yes.
Sometimes you hit your ass on the ground and that's fine.
Yes.
You
Yes.
just stand up or walk away without bothering about it.
So now with this in mind, so let's just breathe in any of these new supportive perceptions for how you'd like that event in your past to be. Allow it to really sink in, this new experience, this new reality, and visualize this moving through time into your future, all the way up until the present moment. Continue to be aware, notice what's happening in your body. Okay, what are you noticing now?
Yeah, I have to check my shoulder. Yeah, and the shoulder is like 80% fine.
Yes.
So it means the structure stabilizes.
Yes. Yes.
The tension on the both sides of the spine there, it's starting to. Actually, right now it's what I felt in the hip area.
Yes.
A few minutes ago. Right now it's in the middle of the chest.
Yes. Okay.
And the back, still close to the spine.
Yes.
But yeah, it's much higher.
Yes.
It's
So
shifting more closer to the shoulder.
yes. Yeah. So as we address certain areas, then things can move around, I notice. And it's sort of like peeling an onion. Like we just continue to go deeper into these layers of consciousness that are manifesting physically through the body. It's not to say that doing physical exercise is not of use, but it's also really useful to, like, let's consider the physical body like the hardware and the consciousness like the software. So that program will continue to run the hardware. So it'll control how it operates. So all we're working with is that deeper level of software, and the hardware needs some time to start to readapt and all of that sort of thing. So as you go into areas, at least in where we focused on, then you might notice that there's a change in the way we relate with this area, and also how you relate to yourself in general. So first it's important, just give it time to readjust and all that sort of thing, rather than going, oh, I did this thing, now it should be instantly better and all that sort of stuff. Things take some time to catch up and rearrange themselves and that sort of thing. And you can also repeat it on any area of the body that you experience, or any thought or emotional pattern that you notice coming up, or like challenges where you kind of get stuck in areas of life as well. So if I was to recap what we did, and the process is, first we just come into a centered space, as centered as possible. So we just connect with the breath. So really just choose our focus, what we'd like to breathe in, we retain, let it assimilate through the body, and then we share out what we don't need anymore. So we continue to do that and just focus the mind, center the body, and center the mind. And then we start to connect the breath with the body. So we scan through the body and then look at any areas that need attention. We watch for any areas that come to the surface for our awareness. We then start to go through the heart center. So we bypass that rational mind, and we start to look at events in time that are connected with this experience that's playing out presently. So if we consider we're going into the past in the present to change the future effectively. So we go back into that past congestion or moment, and we start to watch what was happening. Watch all the thoughts and beliefs that were connected to this moment, any traumas that might have emerged that could be playing out, that could have played out over many years. So we then have an opportunity to look at them with a higher perception, because your perception has grown over the years as well. and we can start to choose whether we would like to hold on to that perception, hold on to those beliefs and thoughts and that experience. If not, we can let it go. So it's that choice to just let it go. There's very great power in that intention. We link it with a breath of just a big exhale. Just breathe it off that moment in time. And then start to choose a new experience. Start to change the perception of that event to allow that to ripple forward again. So if that moment in time didn't exist, well, then the ripples change in the present moment and in the future. So, of course, those ripples just take some time to sift through. So then we continue to repeat that process as much as we need. And it's a very direct way of working with physical sensations, like feelings of stuckness in the body and that sort of thing, and allow our consciousness to go beyond just trying to analyze it based upon our current interpretation, which can then get distorted by other perceptions. So we're looking to bypass that distortion as much as we can. And it's a very powerful way, and that opens up a lot of other gateways.
The thing I said before about fixing mentality.
Yes.
I was in for a few days. It feels like I was just trying to work with the software.
Yes.
Of the system, but was trying to work with software through the hardware, and that's kind of useless, because the whole point of software is that it's not in the hardware.
Yes. Yes.
It's in the memory of the hardware, but you cannot improve software or change it through hardware. Like the hardware is the physical manifestation of the software.
Yes.
So what I was doing, it was just trying to, I was going into the first 2 steps of the process we just did.
Yes.
And then I was just trying to move it somehow.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's also a repeating process, I think. Like recently I was in the Qigong workshop.
Yes.
Where I realized what it really is about. Like, you don't move your body, you move the energy, and the energy moves the body.
Yes.
So it's the exact same process. You don't move the software. You rewrite. You have to rewrite the software so it can change the hardware.
Yes.
And now it makes sense.
The skill is really starting to work with your body at a higher level of perception, and allowing the consciousness. It's like what we're going into it is really with this essence of asking, being open to receive, and letting that guide us. So where sometimes we get stuck is we get the sensation or whatever, and then we think about what it is, and then we focus on that thing that we think what it is. But if it's not the thing, or even a closer thing, well, then we just keep perpetuating something based upon the same level of perception. So we get, it can turn into like Einstein's definition of insanity, of repeating the same thing and expecting a different outcome. So what we're looking to do is to look deeper into the body, to use the body as a clue, because that software is manifesting through the physical body. So it's showing us a wonderful clue. And we're looking to bypass that rational part of the mind, that's the thing that creates distortion of our interpretation of it. And then go straight as clearly as we can back into these events. And then look at them, experience them, and then start to rewrite that program at that moment in time. All it takes is just one moment, one breath, just an open heart and a willingness to grow.